Hello, hello! David Snopek here from Snopek Games. Welcome to the stream. I see we've got Crimson Guitarist. Who else is out there? Say something in the comments. Ooh, and Ricardo. Say something in the comments. You get a cool little character. It looks like I am an orc with sort of barbarian clothes and a mustache and a horned helmet. I think I'm pretty awesome. Crimson Guitarist is rocking a braid. And I'm not entirely sure how to place the clothing. It's like shoulder blades and then like maybe like kind of like a gladiator dressed to impress in the arena. Ricardo's got, I think, a mohawk. I would say that's a mohawk. Yeah, Crimson Guitars. I am hoping to look at the debug color MR. My plan is to look at the SG Physics 2D MR about updating the fixed position when you change the floating point position in the editor. That is hugely important. And then the debug colors thing. I'm really surprised at how much people care about debug colors, but like the people have spoken. The number of issues and comments and things in the Discord relating to debug colors. We're gonna get something merged, and I think probably yours. It looked good in like the 2 minutes that I skimmed it really quickly. Anyway, how is everybody doing? It's been 2 weeks, I think, since the last stream. Last weekend, I did the Global Game Jam. Did anyone else do the Global Game Jam? I've actually only done it 2 times, this year and last year, and it was super fun both times, being able to do an in-person game jam, which I haven't actually done very many of. I think I've done the Global Game Jam, and then we did some in-company game jams where I guess me and one other person involved in it got together in a coffee shop when it was going on, but it was otherwise a distributed sort of thing. Doing it in person is really cool. There's like all the energy, and I mean, I don't know, it's just fun to collaborate in person, which is a silly thing to say because that used to be the default, but now I guess it isn't. Anyway, let me know about your Global Game Jam experiences. If you have done that or did it, or share your games that you made, that would be really cool. Otherwise, how are your guys' projects going? I feel like I haven't gotten a lot of project updates from you guys in a while. My projects are, yeah, where they are. I want to show you this scene is from the game that I made for the Global Game Jam together with Logan, Devlog Logan on all the things, as well as 2 people that we met at the jam, Jacob, who did most of the environment stuff in the game, and then Craig, who did the music. There's only there's like the main background music, and then there is this Jack in the Box music, which both turned out amazing. I think the Jack in the Box music is just creepy enough. I'm going to show the game in the first couple minutes of the stream because I'm just excited to show it off. So we're gonna take a look at that, but we're not gonna be doing VR today. This is not a VR related stream, although I have continued to make progress on the VR game that we have been working on the last bunch of streams. But yeah, I'm just going to show this. Then we're going to take a look at some SG Physics 2D merge requests and issues and things. And then don't think that'll take the whole time. I don't think that'll take the whole stream. So after that, we're going to switch to looking at just GDExtension stuff. I feel just behind on everything, guys. Like like on the Snopek Games Discord, like the folks there have been doing so much cool stuff, like debugging and fixing issues in SG Physics 2D, and I just like haven't had the time to like look at my own Discord. But it's really cool that folks have been doing that, and I'm excited to take a look at some of those MRs and get them merged. But like, I don't know, I haven't had enough time to work on GDExtension either as much as I would like. I have this like really, what I do is I'm subscribed to all of the issues and pull requests on GitHub, and I you know, sort of skim them, and all of the ones that I think I need to do later, I like, you know, mark to be dealt with later. And this list of like GDExtension issues and MRs that I need to deal with, air quotes, later, has been getting really, really big. And I'm kind of worried about that. So yeah, work's been busy, life's been busy. I'm sorry I haven't been on top of, you know, as much stuff as I probably should be. Anyway, yeah, let's take a peek at the Game Jam game that we did. If anyone has any questions about like how we did stuff, let me know. I actually don't necessarily know the answer to all of those questions. We may have to explore it together because I didn't make everything in this. Like I said, it was a team of 4. But yeah, let's take a peek, and then we'll get down to the SG Physics 2D stuff. So let me throw on my VR headset here. Oh yeah, double headset. By the way, if you plan on actually playing this game, it's on itch, but if you plan on playing it, probably don't watch me play it now, because the whole idea of the game is unexpected things happening, right? And so if you're going to play it, don't watch it here, because it's totally going to spoil it for you. So to give a little bit of background, the theme for the Global Game Jam this time, hopefully in a second, not stream, well, I guess it is a stream, but the casting will pop in here and you'll be able to see what I'm seeing. Okay, here it comes. So the theme for the jam was Make Me Laugh. And what we decided to do was make a VR experience that exists in a seemingly normal situation. The game's called Very Normal Apartment, with some objects to interact with. And the idea is that we're going to subvert your expectations for what should happen when you interact with those objects. So I'm actually going to start this over. Let me go to Godot here, and we're just going to, there should be a reset button in the game, but there just totally isn't. So I'm going to redeploy to the device, and I'll try to keep an eye on if anyone has any questions. Hello, Winfrey, welcome to the stream. We're going to be digging into SG Physics 2D stuff, Winfrey. Don't worry, we're just taking a peek at the game that I made for the Global Game Jam, because I'm excited about it. I want to show you guys. See if we can get some of the sound in here. I actually have no idea if that is getting any sound to you guys. I'm going to just pretend that it is. Let me know in the comments if you guys are actually hearing the game sound. It is actually a little bit important for the game. Let me turn it up a little bit more. Oops. I don't know what that does. Microphone? Why would the streaming person have a microphone? All right, well, let me know if you can hear that, or if it's too loud or too quiet or whatever. All right, so here we are in our very normal apartment. Here are my hands. We've got this little Nerf gun, so you can shoot different objects around the apartment, knock some things over, which is just fun. Physics objects are fun. There's the phone's ringing. Should I do this one right away? All right. Hello. So this is one of my favorite gags in this game. You talk into the phone, and I don't know if you guys can hear it, but you hear your voice back at you distorted, and the fridge opens and closes to your voice. So that's one of the best gags. Me and Logan were brainstorming ideas for gags right at the beginning of the jam, and we thought of this one, and we're like, could we even do that? Does the microphone even work on the Quest? Anyway, we've got this jack in the box here. I don't know if you can hear the music, but it's kind of creepy. The faster I spin it, the faster the music goes too. And rather than the jack box opening, the fridge blasts off. We've got our hammer. Oh, a very disappointing hammer. Yeah, the bones didn't quite work out. Like, they get real weird real fast. Like, at first, like, okay, perfect, it's a floppy hammer. But if you mess with it, it just gets strange. Like, look at this. So that's Game Jam right there. Like, I wish I could have made it work a little bit better. Anyway, so now we have the remote. So you're thinking, oh, I'm going to turn on the TV. Oh, but makes the shelf walk over. So basically, wherever you point it, it sends the shelf running around. What else have we got? Ooh, can I pick up a book? Oh, they respawned too quick. So we've got this ceiling fan. If you make it... Whoa! I don't know how... I guess some bouncing balls must have knocked over the TV, but then the ceiling fan goes. You can still sort of shoot it to move it around the room. Whoa! Almost got me. I think the last gag... Ooh! Okay, let's not knock my coffee off the table in real life. Alright. The last gag is this one. This bare face. So anyway, yeah, it was a really great game for a game jam because it was very easy for lots of people to collaborate on at once. We made this big list of gags and just each of us picked some to start implementing. I did the Nerf gun and the Jack in the Box and the hammer, and Logan did the phone, which is clearly the star of the show, and the walking bookcase, and then Jacob, who did focused mostly actually on just building the environment, but he actually was able to squeeze in a couple gags himself, and he did the ceiling fan and the bear back there. So yeah, super fun. I love doing the Global Game Jam. I'm super proud of how this game turned out, and yeah, that's about that. Let me know if you guys have any questions about it, and I'm gonna take the headset off, and yeah. Awesome, I'm glad you could hear the game. The sound, I think, is very important to the experience. Like all the little sound effects and stuff, it just, I don't know. It was super fun. Logan and I have been talking about, like, if we could clean it up a little bit. Like there's a bunch of jank. Like the way the shelf moves could be better. The hammer, like I was saying, I really could be a lot better. The graphics, we could use Godot 4.3 and MSAA and some other stuff, light maps and that, to try and make it look a little bit nicer. Polish it up a little bit. And there's basically endless gags that could be added to it. It'd be a fun little side project. Anyway, Ricardo says, looks fun. I'm going to try VR Dev this weekend. First time Quest 3. Ooh, awesome, Ricardo. Let me know how it goes. And the Quest 3, I do recommend. The Quest 3 is an awesome headset. It's so silly, it's fun. Thanks, Winfrey. All right, so down to the goal, the theme of this particular stream. We're going to take a look at some SG Physics 2D things. So the Crimson Guitarist one and the change fixed position when position changes in editor. So to give some background for people who may be new here, I have a add-on for Godot called the Godot Rollback Netcode add-on, which is for implementing rollback netcode in your game. Most popular in fighting games, a little bit in RTSs. I used it in a party game, which isn't necessarily the best use of rollback, but it's what I used it for. Rollback depends on all of your game logic being deterministic, including your collision detection. The default physics engine in Godot is not deterministic, so to work around that, I created this SG Physics 2D, which is a deterministic 2D physics engine. Physics engine might be stretching the definition a little bit because it doesn't actually do any rigid body simulations, but that's just because I didn't need them for my game. At one point, I think BIMDAV was actually working on adding a rigid body simulation. It would be really easy to add, but at this point, it's just all the collision, so detecting collisions, that sort of thing, kinematic movement. Anyway, recently, I ported it from a Godot module in Godot 3 to a GDExtension in Godot 4. And as to kind of be expected, the Godot 4 version hasn't gotten as much use. There are a number of big bugs. Probably the biggest right now is this one. So the way that this engine works is it uses fixed point math rather than floating point math. And when you're editing things in the editor, you're moving them around. It changes the floating point position, the like built-in Godot, position, and then it's supposed to convert that to a fixed point position, which then when your scene gets saved and then loaded into your game, it's just going to use that fixed point position and not even touch the floating point position. And the reason for using fixed point math is due to the differences in the way that floating point math can play out on different platforms and operating systems and all of that kind of stuff. So this is a big problem. Without fixing this, it actually makes it very hard to edit things in the Godot editor with SG Physics 2D. And Winfrey here made this really great MR. I've already tested it, actually. It seems to work. But there's a couple of things I want to dig deeper into Namely, there's all these places where we have one class's notification calling the parent class's notification, which would be totally normal if underscore notification was a normal virtual method in C++, but it is not. It is a special Godot thing that is supposed to automatically call all of the parent class's versions. You aren't supposed to have to do this. So we are going to try this MR removing some of those and see what happens. If it legitimately is required to make it work, then we're going to change gears a little bit and start hacking on Godot CPP itself. Godot CPP is the C++ bindings for GDExtension. So GDExtension is this native level API to Godot that allows you to make extensions to the engine in a number of different programming languages, in Rust, in Python, in Lua. In this case, the C++ binding is Godot CPP, and I think there might be a bug in Godot CPP. So we will dig into that. So let's get out of this project. I think because I was testing this last on this MR, I think that the that's what I already should have compiled, but let's check it out. So editor path projects Godot 4. All right, so this should load up the SGPhysics 2D demo, and let's move around something and see what happens. So we see the fixed point position here, those big old integers representing these relatively small floating point values. And so when in the editor, when we move this around, yep, we see the fixed point position update. So this is working with WhenFreeze MR. Everything is good. Let me just, that's where it's supposed to be. Just looks different than, I thought these 2 points would be on top of each other. I don't even know what this other point is. What is this other point? Oh, that's the camera. Okay, cool. All right, so it seems to be working. Let's, this is a character body 2D. We are going to really quickly take a peek at what the heck. SG character body 2D. We're going to go to the notification. Notification? Does this one not have a notification? Okay, well, let's look at the MR again. So in collision polygon, collision shape. Oh, maybe it's only the ones that define their own notification. Okay, so we're going to need to find an example. SG fixed position. Okay, well, let's do a SG fixed position node. Give that a try. So we're going to drop SG fixed position. I don't even see it. Oh, it's way up there. Okay. And we will see the floating point transform change and the fixed point transform change as well. All right, so we are going to recompile SGPhysics2D, commenting out the line that calls the parent. So this would be SG fixed position. What the heck? What's the file called? Yeah. Oh, I was in the wrong project, perhaps? I was in the wrong project. SG fixed position 2D CPP. Look for the notification. All right, so we're going to comment this one out. We're going to recompile and see what happens. Hey, Cyber Habanero! Welcome to the stream. Okay, so that should be enough. It compiled very quickly. That's awesome. Let's try our test again. SG fixed position 2D. Let's bring it down where we can see it. Yeah. I am smelling a Godot CPP bug here. So I did take a quick peek at the code, and it looks okay to me, actually. So this stuff is very hard to follow in the Godot engine and in Godot CPP because it's like macro magic. But the notification, the code that calls the notification underscore function comes from this GD class macro that you have to put at the top of every class that you bind to Godot. So that's a class that's accessible in Godot, via GD script, or like being able to add the node in the editor or whatever. And this seems like it should work, right? So notification bind. I do see a bug here. We have this reversed Boolean, and we should be doing something with it. If we take a look at the equivalent code in the Godot engine, so let me get that up. And in the Godot engine, I think it's an object H, possibly, yes. Notification. All right. So this is the equivalent code in the Godot engine where we should be saying if it's not reversed, call the parent class's notification before, and if it is reversed, call the parent class's notification after. So that is 100% appears, at least, to be a bug here, that we should be checking reversed and calling it before or after. However, otherwise this seems okay. We're saying if, well, maybe not actually. Hang on. So if the instance exists and this class has a notification callback, I guess let's see how that works. Get notification. Yeah, so this should just be returning the address of the notification method. Cool. But I'm not sure about that because otherwise I'm not sure how we call the parent one. Like if we don't define a notification, I don't know. That might be a thing. We'll dig deeper into that. But then we say if my notification, this class's notification method is not the same as the parent class's notification method, then we call this class's notification method. But then after, we call the parent class's notification. And that should just happen automatically. So where could this be going wrong? If we look at fixed SG fixed position. Oh, come on. I'm just always in the wrong project. Not Godot CPP, not here, here. SG fixed position. So we are calling to SG fixed node 2D. Is that its direct parent? SG fixed node 2D. Like, honestly, guys, I don't see why this isn't working. I mean, we haven't followed the code all the way up to where it should be calling that first method, so that's something we should double check. Like I know that this is supposed to be the code we were looking at before. This is supposed to be the code that calls this, but what if it isn't? What if something's gone wrong elsewhere and this isn't actually the code that's being called? So let's search for this. We'll search for notification bind. Okay, so yeah, when we are registering this class with Godot, we're taking that notification bind and we are saying, okay, that's what you should call to do notification. So it does appear to be the case. I mean, we could go even further up. We could look at Godot's code. Is it normal to do a return on a void method? I didn't see that. A notification bind? Let me check it out. Oh, that is interesting. That is weird. That is not normal, in fact. I mean, I think it's a no-op. I don't think it does anything. That is interesting. That probably is a copy paste issue. So if you look at this method here, this is basically the same code, but for something else. I bet this one was copy paste from that one. Good catch. Good catch, Winfrey. So what I think we should do is I think we should recreate this situation in the automated tests for Godot CPP, and then run the test, see what happens, and then we can dig deeper. No matter what, if we fix this, we're going to want to have an automated test to make sure we don't break it again. Yeah. Okay, so first I need to get out of this branch. I was working on a memory leak, this memory leak issue in Godot CPP. We might get down to it later after we solve this issue, if we solve it quickly enough. But we want to do a new branch, so let's go to git checkout master. We'll make a new branch. We'll call this one notification hierarchy. I'm probably misspelling hierarchy because I always misspell hierarchy. Is that spelled like this? Hierarchy? See what VS Code thinks. Hierarchy? It's not complaining. Oh, I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's a branch name. I can have misspellings and branch names. You know, Tomek Kobiwi on the Godot project, he always makes like hilarious branch names for his PRs. Yeah, keep an eye out for that. It is sometimes quite funny. All right. So the automated tests. That is in test source. And we have a bunch of example classes here. So to recreate this, we are going to want a child class. We can use a notification like ready. Why not? We can use ready. What do we have already? We have, well, let's do it with a node. So we have example. This is like our main test class, example. And we have example virtual, example abstract, example concrete. Those are testing specific things with those types of classes. Yeah, we'll need to put a new node in the tree to do this, I guess. Unless we use a different notification. Or I guess we could explicitly send a notification. Well, maybe we just need some classes to just be parents and children, and we can reuse them for other tests later too. So we'll say like example parent. I want it to be a node. Nodes are definitely like the thing we care about the most. Let's make it be a node. It'll be public node GD class. That's the macro we've been looking at. Like I said, we have to put it in every class we're registering with Godot. So we put its name and then its parent class name. And then we always have to have a static void bind methods. And then we're also, sorry, my eyes are itching. We also need to put a void notification int p what. Oh, sorry, example parent node. And then we'll do class example child node. Or child node sounds weird. Because actually what we care about is a child class, and child node sounds like, you know, the scene tree. Let me come up with different names. So example base. Do we have a base? Abstract base. Okay, we'll have example base and example child. Those names are slightly less confusing. GD class, example child, node, or no, sorry, not node. Example. This made me wonder something. What if, let me just go look at how this macro is being used in SGPhysics2D. What if I made the exact same mistake I almost made right there, but in the SGPhysics2D source code? Because I was about to do this as node. This should be, of course, example base. But like, what if I did that in the SGPhysics2D source code instead of example base? Because that could potentially cause this problem. Let me go look. So fixed position, no. Nope, I did it right here. Okay, never mind. Wojtek. Yeah, I don't really have anything to say about that, Wojtek. Yuri has left Godot recently. Will it affect Godot's development? I don't really know the story with Yuri. Anytime someone who is a core part of a project leaves, there will be some amount of readjustment within the project. But Godot at this point is big enough that I think development will go on. I don't think the community at large will really be affected. Of course, like, I liked Yuri a lot. I'm sad to not have him in the project anymore. That's really all I got to say about that. All right, so we have to put our bind methods. Okay, so we'll need to have something happen that we can test. So maybe we will have a property, let's call it value, and we'll add a getter. So say int get value, turn value. And then what I think we'll do is we'll have like this notification on ready, set this value to something that we can test. So let's maybe set it to 0 to begin with, and then we'll set it to something else, and then we'll implement the notification here and see if that like completely overrides it, like make sure that both notifications happen. And I don't know, how do we make sure that both notifications happen? And the right order of the notifications. We might need a couple of values. Say value 1, value 2, say get value 1, and 2. Yes, yes, life goes on. Actually, like, I am really pleased with how the Godot maintainer community has evolved to the point of being like really self-sustainable. There was definitely a period of time during Godot's development when it all depended on Juan, and if Juan wasn't doing stuff, nothing got done. Then there was a period of time where everything depended on Remy, and if Remy wasn't doing stuff, nothing got done. I think the maintainer community, the maintainer group, the project infrastructure has matured to this point where both Juan or Remy can disappear for relatively long periods of time, and the project keeps moving forward without like a huge change in velocity. I mean, of course, it's always better when they're there and able to do work because they do great work and so on. But the project is in a very sustainable place, is what I'm trying to say, and it's awesome. All right, so we can't do this. We need to actually bind these. So let's go implement this method in the CPP file. Go to the end. Oops. So example parent, or no, sorry, we called it example base, is going to bind those two getters. And I never remember how that's done. Like I always copy and paste a previous example of having done it. You know, I should make like VS Code shortcuts for setting these up. Like that would be really cool, so that I don't have to copy and paste these. I could have like a little string I type and then it fills it in. That'd be really awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward for Godot since 3.1 version. I'd like to see job market will create more job places. I mean, right now, the job market for Godot is looking pretty good. There's a lot of new things starting up and like expanding, and a lot of game projects moving to Godot and like in need of Godot experts. So, I mean, we've got like W4 and Ramatalk, which are both growing and hiring. You know, we've got lots of companies that have existing game products that they need to now make work with Godot. Like they have their plugin for like Unity and Unreal, but now they need to make work for Godot, and like those people are hiring. And like after the Unity debacle and more games were switching to Godot, like I don't know, if you are a Godot developer, this is a good time to be looking for work, is what I'm saying. And even including like all the layoffs and all of that stuff, because that really hasn't affected the places that are looking for Godot developers. So go for it, everyone. Go for it. Oh, cool. That's awesome. Wojtek worked at Pineapple Works. Yeah, I don't know much about Pineapple Works, to be honest. Just that they've been doing what they're doing in the Godot community. Or in the Godot ecosystem, I guess is what I should say. The Godot commercial ecosystem. Okay, and then we need to actually do our notification. So and we need to do the child one too. And I think what we want to do is we want to say like value, or okay, we need to look at a particular notification. So if pwhat equals, we'll say notification ready. Or should we do ready, or should we do enter tree? I'm actually thinking about maybe doing enter tree, because then we don't need to worry about, because we're like actually running the tests also on ready. And we don't have to worry about the order that the ready happens. If we pick something that happens before ready, enter tree should happen before ready. I think. Yes, it should. I guess we'll find out. So value 1 equals, we'll say 11. And we'll have it not mess with value 2. And then here we'll say if pwhat equals notification enter tree. We'll say value 1 equals 22 and value 2 equals 33. Okay, so, or wait. So it's setting the something that from the parent class, setting the same thing would help us with testing the order, but it doesn't help us with discovering did it run at all. So maybe actually we'll just do value 2. We might need one more value to to mess around with the order. And I just realized I made those private and not protected. So let's switch that up. So we need these here to be protected. Winfrey, if I put on my CV, I helped indirectly to fix a bug of GDExtension while I get the job. I mean, any experience doesn't hurt. Their main devs are goats with Godot's build system and tooling. Yeah, the build system stuff, that is some you need some very specialized knowledge to work on the build system. That's one of my weaker areas with regard to Godot, not because I don't know the tools like scans. I know scans, What I don't know is all of the platforms and all of the quirks of all of the platforms and all of the compilers and all of that stuff. Tricky stuff. Okay, so this should work. And then in our actual test, so let's do, we're gonna need to edit this project. So let's close this Godot. Don't save. Let's actually edit our project here. So we'll say Godot 4, editor, path, test, project. And we're going to want to add example. Oh, we can't add it yet because we haven't compiled it. Okay, one thing at a time. Let's register these types. Example base, example child. All right, so we'll need to compile this so that we can access these classes in the editor. So let's do that. Addition, first adds 1, child adds 2, if the final result is 3. Both. Yeah, we could do addition. And that would help us with order too. That's a really good idea, Winfrey. Cyber Habanero, yes, more jobs for Godot programmers would be nice. Sadly, I only see Unreal Engine and Unity jobs around. So the looking at job postings is not the best way to find jobs. And this is true in every industry, everywhere. Job postings are good if you're not in the industry at all or don't know anyone. I mean, maybe not good is the right word, but they're your only option if you don't know anyone and you're completely new. But most jobs get filled before a public job posting is made. And that's just the way it works everywhere. So the better bet is to go to networking events, meet people, reach out to companies that are doing things. Like I know that's like a little bit scary, but definitely like you will find way more stuff that way, way more good stuff. There's CMake. Yeah, CMake. I don't know at all. CMake's like black magic. Game industry seems in bigger trouble anyway. So like, yeah, there's some bad things going on in the game industry. It's mostly affecting big companies though. Like, I think the industry as a whole is fairly healthy. Like the big companies firing everybody thing is really like a not related to games at all. It's like related to interest rates. And what's going to happen is this is going to in the medium to long term mean that players are going to get a whole bunch less cool games in 2, 3, 4, or 5 years, leaving this big weird hole in the AAA space. It's not going to change anything right now. Like any games that are coming out this year or next year have been in production forever. But like as a whole, like the games industry is still making tons of money. Nothing has changed as far as like demand for games, any of that. So I don't know. Like the big companies are affected by this interest rate BS. But the smaller companies, the indies, even like the medium-sized companies that are cropping up on what you might consider as large, like are still just chugging along and doing fine. I don't know. It's a weird time. Then second that, my last 2 jobs are not through applying online. Personal network is crazy effective. Yeah, I think have I ever applied for a job posting? I might have, but like I just don't remember. Almost all of the work that I've ever gotten is from networking or knowing someone who knows me, like, I guess that's networking already, just like a different way of it. I don't know. Yeah, like knowing people, getting out there, making yourself be known in some way is definitely the better way to go. All right, let's restart this because I'm not using hot reload. and add our example. Where is our example child? Why is it not here? What did I do wrong? This compiled seems to have compiled. Example base, example child. They were nodes, right? They are nodes. They should appear in here. I skipped something somewhere, or I copy and pasted a weird line. What did I copy paste? Register types, register class. Like all of these should have, well, maybe not concrete if that's not a node. No, it's an object, so that shouldn't appear in there. Why aren't my nodes appearing in there? Okay, let's check the basics here. So where's our .GDExtension file? So our Linux one is the debug template. I didn't do the thing where I switched it to the dev one. That sometimes gets me. Let's look at the actual binaries that came out, make sure the timestamp is right. So that would be, I'll just look at all of them. No, here. So this is the one that I would have just built, but it didn't build because today's February 2nd. Okay, what happened? Oh, I'm running in the wrong directory. All right, let's go run scans in the right directory. I was muted for a while. Is this for the MR that fixes updating position when global position is updated? Yes, that is what this is for. Trying to figure out why Godot CPP isn't calling the notification on the parent class when it should. And there is at least one bug in here, at least I think so, based on looking at the code. So even if this bug turns out to not be a Godot CPP bug, there is still a Godot CPP bug we can fix, which will be good. I like fixing bugs. Feels good. One of the greatest things about open source is like your problems, the things that you encounter, if you can go in and fix them, then everyone else who comes after you doesn't have that bug. And just like the idea of this sort of like exponential improvement of open source things is awesome. I think the return was causing that. Why would the return? Oh, when free. I think you're right. I think you're right. Yeah. Because if it returns, that means we never get to the second one. Ha! Beautiful. Yeah, you're totally right. Well, let's get a test, and let's test both the two things that we know are wrong: the reverse not doing what it's supposed to do, and the return that's not supposed to be there. Make a PR. We can, of course, use a patched version of Godot CPP in SGPhysics 2D, and then we're golden, right? Okay. So, we still don't have our example. Why don't we have our example? Did this compile right? Okay. Okay, here we go. We have the February 2nd. Did I not restart this? Let's try restarting it. Might help in the US. Here are only a few gay companies. No one uses Godot. I mean, like, you don't have to work for a local company, and you don't have to network in person. You can network digitally. It's harder, but you can. getting to know people on Discords and through online meetups and stuff. Like meetups, honestly, are one of the best ways to network, and plenty of those are online now post 2020. And certainly you don't need to work in your local country. I mean, W4 is technically an Irish company. That's who I'm working for primarily these days. You're not unlimited. Oh yeah, so Wojtek is saying the same thing. Big companies happens to smaller and good studios heard that Piranha Bytes is going to fold. Yeah, I mean, certainly it's possible, but I think on the whole, the big mass firing thing is largely on big companies that like to operate on lots of debt. Here we go, example child. I don't know why, but I want to put it up here. No, let's start with it down here. I'm just worried about like scene tree order stuff. All right, so now, beep, send this over there. We need to add a new thing here. So test that notifications happen on both parent and child classes. So var example child, and then we're going to do say assert equal example child value 1 should equal 11, I believe. Value 2 should equal 33. And let's test the failure case also. So let me save this and kill it. I think Winfrey's right that changing the return is what the problem was here. So let's add it back and just make sure it fails. I'll double check the diff to make sure we added it back right. So yeah, we see no changes there. And let's compile it. Of course, because we changed a macro that's used in every single class, we have to recompile everything. That's fine. I got a lot of cores, enough cores on this machine. Also, posting your progress and projects to social media helps a lot. Yeah, so having a portfolio is hugely important. Being able to have a lot of cool things that are described narratively in some way to be able to show to potential employers, also really important. Which could be done like in the form of a blog even. Like you did a cool project, and you write like a kind of little narrative about it and show, screenshots and videos and whatever. Yeah, having a good collection of those. Because when people are looking for something in particular, being able to say, hey, I did that exact thing is pretty helpful. Another thing that maybe doesn't work as well when you're just starting out, but over time works really, really well is specializing. If you specialize in something to the point that when people think of Godot plus blah, 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 like you're one of 5 people who do that thing, like that is also really, really helpful. All right, so let's run our tests here. Something's going wrong. Ugh. I hate when this goes wrong. Okay, so ps aux Godot. Like this command line script is super helpful when it works, but like super unhelpful when it fails. I might need to do some work on this script. I have to like manually kill Godot. It really sucks. Okay, so let's not run it with the script. Let's run it in the editor and see what happens. Play. Value 1. Oh, because I only put getters. I didn't put properties. So here we go. Get value 1. Get value 2. Run again. And 101. Expected 11, but got 0. That's the failure case, guys. So it really fails. Now, let's remove this dastardly return. Recompile. IMO, biggest problem with Godot is that you have to invest more on tooling side, but if you're developing in-house tools tech, you are not relying on someone else's code that might be dropped. And Godot helps a lot with tools development. It's much easier with learning code base than Unreal, which has 16,000 lines of code for single base class. Yeah, Godot's source code, like, I think is remarkably easy to understand, which I think comes sort of automatically from having an open source project where lots and lots and lots of people are changing the same code. There's a general tendency towards clarity and simplicity, because otherwise the project would collapse. So maybe it's actually more survivorship bias than like an actual effect, right? Because if we didn't gradually tend towards clarity and simplicity, the project would have imploded long ago. So because we didn't implode, we must have found a solution to this problem. But yeah, it is very nice in this way. Crap, I have it open twice. Cancel everything. 2 editors at once equals bad. I actually probably could have just used the same editor again. I didn't need to restart it. Oh, and now I just ran it in this weird way. Oh no, we're good, we're good. All right, and 102 passes. It was the return. It was the return. There is another bug here, though. We need to ensure that these things run in the correct order. Actually, maybe addition isn't the way to do this. Yeah, if we have... Okay, how does this work? So if we call example child notification, is it notification? Let's look at object notification. Notification. Okay, and we do what or reversed? We, by default, I think the parent runs first. It's reversed. All classes inherited by a string call starting from the highest ancestor and going down the object script. So, okay, by default, the parent is supposed to run first. So let's go. We're going to send notification tree or enter tree. I don't know why we're on this particular notification now, because we could just have called any notification manually. So by default, it should run forward, and then we're going to call it again to make it run reversed, is basically what I'm thinking. So let's do example CPP, wrong project. There we go. Example CPP. So if by default the parent runs first and the child runs second, let's do value 2 equals 22. Here we're going to change it to 33. And then if we reverse it, the value should go to the other way, right? So let's test that. So by default, this one should go first, so then it should be 1133, and then when we reverse it, it should be 1122. And we know this is broken as well. Recompile. Oop, what did I do? Recompile. Hey, Patrick, welcome to the stream. It's been a while since we've chatted. How are things going? We have Abo Elm Damid. Welcome to the stream. How to use Visual Studio with Godot. So right now, I guess I am doing Godot stuff in here too. We're doing C++ things in the engine and on GDExtension, but you can use VS Code with just normal like Godot projects, which I guess I'm doing as well here. There's a VS Code extension for it, which does a couple of cool things. See this little Godot head here? It will actually give me like a view of the scene that I'm currently working on. and you can do some things with it. I actually haven't experimented all that much with it. I think you can like drag things in and get a path. No, I swear there's a way to do it. Copy node path, haha. So I can button. That's the node path. But it does autocomplete. So I don't know, what are some, oop, I actually have to connect though. Hang on. Retry. So this is just a GDScript file in my project, and it's doing some autocomplete. It's not doing as much autocomplete as I would like. Did I not set the type on this one? I did set the type. It should be doing better autocomplete. But anyway, it works reasonably well. I like working in VS Code better than working in the Godot code editor, although the Godot code editor is quite nice. I want my Vim key bindings. That is my main my main motivation for using VS Code. I'm doing good. Yeah, it's been a while. I've been a bit silent because I'm busy with tech art PR for Particles Admission Shape Gizmo. Cool. I didn't know you were working on that. I do end up doing a bunch of stuff with particles in almost every project. It would be really cool to be able to visualize the emission shape. That is really cool. I can't wait to see that. If there's an existing PR, like, link it, because I want to check that out. Ooh, going on a month-long vacation. That sounds awesome. I'm going on a vacation next week. I'm going to Disney World with my family, which I guess I should say there will be no stream next week because I'm going to be at Disney World. Someone here would like to use Glassfish or Android Studio more than VS Code. You can use Android Studio if you're doing Android Godot stuff. And supposedly it works nice. I'm not a big Android Studio person, but I know like Fredia uses it when working on Godot Android plugins. And I don't know, it works somehow, does something cool, I think. I think, Patrick, actually, you did a bunch of that at one point too, because you were working on the AR Core support, right? AR Core is the Android one. I always get confused between ARKit and AR Core. Bit of a problem with having multiple gizmos activated when selecting the same node. I mean, could you draw it not as a gizmo, but just like another thing that you inject into, like another thing underneath the particles when in the editor to visualize it? I don't know. Just random thoughts. Yeah, my kids are 9 and 7. And I hope this is a good age to go to Disney World. They're really excited about it. They can't stop talking about it. So yeah, it's gonna be exciting. Oh yeah, and then you ended up doing your whole project in Android Studio because you couldn't get Godot up to speed quick enough. All right. So we are here. I compiled the thing, I think. Did I? I'll type it again. And I'm expecting some failures this time. Yep, so 247. That's this one. So this one's working and this one's failing. So I think what we need is so that would be in wrapped. We need to do basically the exact same thing as the Godot code. Let me show you the Godot code. We looked at it a second ago, where we say if not reversed, call it here. If reversed, call it here. I do still feel a little weird about this check. Does that always return something even when it's just the parent class one? I guess it must because of this if here. So okay, we'll leave that be. We'll leave that be. All right. I don't like it. I feel like this check should be down here. How does it do it in the Godot code? It never does it in the Godot code. It just assumes it exists. Okay, well, we'll let it be, even though I still don't like it. I still don't like it. Okay, so if P reversed, we do this, do that. Don't worry about all these backslashes. Clang format, we'll reformat it for me. I'm just trying to not trigger it until I have everything exactly right. All right, and now if I type a semicolon anywhere, Clang format should kick in. Oh, yeah. Okay, and not, and then not. Yep, that's the right order. Okay, let's compile this and give it a try. You're going to New Zealand. Cool. Gonna hang out with some hobbits. I always think of hobbits when I think of New Zealand because that's where they shot Lord of the Rings, right? I think it is. I have to apply to a master's study soon as well. Ah, more schooling, eh? Well, you had a studio work with Godot. Would like to know how. I checked some weeks ago, but it adds only to my list. I'm not entirely sure I understand your question, Cyber Habanero, or if it's directed at me or at someone else. Oh, A Studio, Android Studio. I get it. The A is for Android. Okay, so let's run our tests. And all the tests pass. Yay! Okay, so let's make our PR, and then we're going to figure out exactly how we're going to do this for SG Physics 2D. So I think we are using a Git submodule to include Godot CPP. So I could just push a commit to SG Physics 2D that switches to our PR'd version, which actually I might want to change up a little bit because we want to have a version of this change for the Godot 4.1 version of Godot CPP. The reason for that is if we compile against the Godot 4.2 or 4.3 version of Godot CPP, then the GDExtension will only work in Godot 4.2 or 4.3 or later. But I would like to compile against the 4.1 version so that we can have a single build that works for Godot 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, and so on. So we may have to make like a special branch on my fork, and then we'll use that for a little while, something like that. Okay. Quit out of here because we don't need it right now. Oops. This is our change. Let's commit this. Okay, so fix notification running on fix notification with parent and child classes. I mean, that's generic. How to say that more specifically? Fix notification. I don't know. That sounds that's okay. That's acceptable. If you guys have anything better, let me know. Let's push this. Heard from Logan that he got under your wings at W4. Happy you get some support there now as well. Hopefully I'll be able to see you two at Gamescom later this year. I probably won't be going to Gamescom. Usually W4 just sends the European people to Gamescom. I'm going to be going to GDC, and a lot of the European people are not going to GDC. Probably the next time that I will be in Europe for an event will be the next GodotCon, which is probably going to be in Europe, although I guess nobody knows where it's going to be. But yes, Logan started working at W4. He's been doing a great job working on a project with me there. Yeah, exciting times. Not running on parents. Cool. With Cyber Habanero, you're doing some like multiplayer stuff with Pico? That sounds interesting. No. But yeah, in that case, GodotCon. Yeah, I mean, it would be cool to go to Gamescom, but like it's a relatively short event for someone traveling internationally, and it doesn't really need me in particular. You know what I mean? I feel like I have more to contribute at GodotCon. At Gamescom, like it would be super fun, but like I'd just be a human at the booth. And lots of other people can be a human at the booth. So I don't get to go. Is basically the summary there. Yeah, it would be a GDC is super a lot of fun. But yeah, I know always getting into the US and with visa stuff is always problematic for many people. Oh, and San Francisco's very expensive. That's the other thing. Gamescom would probably be much cheaper to visit than GDC. Yeah, so we will want to change the SG Physics PR, but I mean, you don't need to do it exactly now. I think I'll try and get an update to the version of Godot CPP that we're using in, and then if you rebase your branch on that, you should be able to update the MR and remove that notification stuff. Okay, so I pushed this. Let's go make our PR. Oh, you know what though? We might need to change this a bit to make it work with 4.1 because I don't think 4.1 has the reversed thing. Currently, if you have a child, or okay, if you have a parent and child class both defined in GDExtension, and the child class has its own notification function or method, the parent notification won't be called. But also, Godot CPP is not respecting the p reversed flag and will always run reversed, calling the child before the parent. This PR fixes that. And I'm going to label it for cherry pick to 4.1 as well, even though I'm not entirely sure if that will cleanly cherry pick. But this would be a good one to fix. So this is a bug. We're going to target it for 4x branch. Take a look at this. Oh, I should make a note here. It also adds an automated test to ensure that it is working correctly and that we won't break this again. And so we won't break this again. All right. That's good. And I'm going to link this in here. Here's a PR to fix the issues with notification. And I guess we have to make our branch. So my Godot CPP fork, I guess is what we're already using. And we want to git checkout 4.1. Let's do git pull upstream 4.1. So we have the latest 4.1. Let's do git checkout 4.1 notification fix. Oops, I want to do checkout -b to create a new branch. And let's do git cherry pick. And I probably could grab it from my terminal, but we'll grab the commit hash of this fix. And there is a conflict, of course. Let's go look at wrapped. Let me just make sure what version we're using currently. Like if we've already updated to 4.2, I don't think we have. But if we have, that would make life simpler for me. Where's Godot CPP? It's just right here. Okay. It's the 4.1 branch. Unless that's out of date. No, it is out of date. Okay. Git sub module update. cd Godot CPP git log. What version is this? Okay, yeah, it's on 4.1. It's a much earlier 4.1. Okay. So we do need to make this work with 4.1. Where was I just doing that? In here. Okay. Okay, yeah, we'll do it here. That's fine. So where are our conflicts? Our conflicts are in wrapped HPP. This is going to be where the biggest conflicts are. This is not where I should be doing it. I should be doing it here. Wrapped HPP. So, this is going to be so frustrating to cherry pick, isn't it? Or no, it's just this little bit. Accept current, accept incoming. So incoming. The problem is there's no reversed. So actually we have to not do this. Does that seem right? Oh, what did I screw up here? Screwed something up. You do or do not have a backslash. You have a backslash. You do not have a backslash. You do not have a backslash. You do not have a backslash. Okay. Will it work now? Okay. Let's take a look at what that diff is. Hopefully it's not insane. Eesh. To change these tests a little bit. So it's main GD. We're going to not do this post initialize stuff. And get rid of the reversed one. What else have we got? Git status. Both modified. Register types. Register types. Man, I hope I'm doing this right. I'm doing it kind of fast. Let's look at the diffs here. So this seems weird. Like, where's that coming from? Guess is that coming from? Okay, let's do git status. Let's add these, and it might make the diff look saner. Those like double diffs where it's showing you changes from two sources are sometimes a little difficult to wrap your mind around, at least for me. Okay, now let's do this and see if it makes more sense. All right. That looks correct. That looks correct. Okay, let's try compiling this. I don't think I have Godot 4.1 on my machine to actually test this with Godot 4.1, but it should be compatible with Godot 4.2, even though it lacks some of those extra features. Not happy with the UI on Pico and MetaQuest is not anyway. A startup boot program. Okay, so sorry, Cyber Habanero, this is like 10 minutes ago that you wrote this, but you're making a startup program, like a new shell, like a new main interface on the Pico? That's really interesting. Yeah. Since you need a lot of manpower. All right, so let's run these tests. We'll do Godot. Well, hang on, I probably already wrote this earlier. We'll be lazy and let Bash complete that for me. Run this. 72 passes. All right, this looks like the correct change. So git cherry pick continue. I don't know if I will actually make a PR for this upstream. Maybe I will. I mean, I guess we just went through the time to make it. But after the first PR is merged, I can make a 4.2 like backport. Say origin 4.1 notification fix. All right, so now we have this branch on my fork, which we can go to sgphysics2d and hang on, I'm not sure which, if sgphysics2d is pointing at the normal Godot CPP or if it's pointing at mine. How would we check that? Is that in git modules? It is. Okay, so it's pointing at the main one. We're gonna have to change this to dsnowpack. And we're going to Godot CPP. And what remotes do we have? Okay, git fetch origin. We should see my new branch. We do not. What the heck is origin? Oh, right, it's not in here because the way submodules work is weird. All right, let's try and see. Modules. There we go. Godot CPP config. There we go. Okay, so origin is mine. Why didn't I get it then? I'm confused. Git branch A. Oh, it is here. It is here. So let's just check it out. Git checkout 4.1 notification fix. So now I do git add git modules and Godot CPP. Don't want any of these changes. Go away. And then let's go back to main. Let's make sure this is the right commit. What is the commit hash here? 319 EAD. 319 EAD. All right. Okay. So I'm going to make a commit that switches to a version of Godot CPP that fixes the notification bug, which should allow uentry to rebase and then remove that part of the fix. And then whenever I have a chance to test it again after that, I'm going to merge it. That's some good work that you did there. And we need to fix that bug. It's an important bug. All right, so I'm going to say update to switch to Godot CPP fork with fix for notification bug. All right. And I am a little curious to see if it just automatically works. Like, hang on, that was PR 58, I think, or MR 58. Yeah, let's just try it really quick. Git checkout MR origin 58. Say rebase or git rebase main, and then what we had tested before was in the position sg fixed position 2D, and we commented this out. So let's build that. Git submodules are a mess. I kind of hate them. But yeah, they are useful in some situations, but like, man, like, yeah, they're a mess. Find the UI on Meta and Pico is not really VR, only 2D. They give away so much possibilities. Like, it's like if you only use telephone if you have a smartphone with video. Yeah, it is interesting how many UIs in VR are still just interacting with floating screens when we should be able to have infinite UI elements, right? Because you can interact with like real switches and knobs in real life and pick things up and move them around and all that kind of stuff. I think we're still kind of figuring out what the right UI paradigm is for VR, and I'm excited to see what people come up with eventually. Okay, so let's run our project. So I commented out the call to the parent notification in the fixed position. So now, when I move it around, we are seeing the update. Fabulous, fabulous. Patrick, you said you posted some PRs. I think because you're on YouTube, it's filtered the URLs out. This happens to me all of the time. YouTube will just like not send them to everyone else, but you see them as if you had posted them. I think you might need to come over to Discord to post the URLs and have them not vanish. YouTube's just weird like that. Like, it doesn't even tell you you're being moderated. You think you've still said what you've said. Yeah, Discord would be better. All right, so as soon as when free updates this one, we can merge it. No rush. Oh, cool. Why'd you open up over here? Lame. Open up over here. It just doesn't want to. Okay, copy paste. No, it's so frustrating. Copy paste. Mission shapes closes proposal. Yeah, I like the mock-up there. That's really cool. Add sphere mask node and okay, so this is some new visual shader nodes for these different functions. Never really actually looked at how visual shaders works in that much detail. Ultimately, it looks like it's just outputting shader code. Yeah, the mission shape thing is something I'm really, really excited to see. because you do kind of have to like. So what I do is when I'm working on a particle system is I have it like emit continuously and like emit way more particles than I actually want. And that way I can sort of get an idea of what the emission shape is by just like tweaking it and watching, this 200 particles going, fill that shape. And that's kind of how I do it. But like, man, it would be nice to just have a cool visualization in the editor of what the emission shape looks like. I need to learn some more VFX stuff. Like for the plain VR game, I really want to have like some sort of like charge up V effect for like the enemies before they shoot, and then when they shoot these spheres, I'd like some sort of like I don't know, like a rotating procedural thing on these like energy spheres, and I have no idea how to do either of those things, and it seems like pretty basic VFX. I need to do some research. I need to do some research. All right, so the other PR we're going to look at, and this one took way longer than I thought it would, honestly, but we will get to the second one, is this one where debug color is configurable from Crimson Guitarist. Yeah, like kind of an electricity sort of thing. And like maybe it doesn't even really need to be procedural. Like maybe it could just be a texture that's moving around. But like in my mind, I feel like you could do something with the sine function that would be cool. I don't know. VFX is not my area. All right, so let's do MR origin, and this is 61. Let's check out this MR. So let's build it. And run the editor. And immediately the shape color is better because it's back to the normal Godot one. I think I just went with straight blue when I was porting. And it always has a little bit of alpha. That makes sense. We can kill the alpha if we want to. Yeah. I assume this is just going to work on all the shapes. Oh, and I did see the discussion on Discord that the lines don't change, but I'm not real worried about that. That's also something that's really easy to do in a follow-up. I don't think it should be a blocker. Character body. Oh, I guess it's on the shape. Okay, yeah. I don't know. I was thinking it'd be on the body. It's on the shape. Yeah, that seems cool. Let's take a look at the code. Sorry for the yawn. My sleep is not totally normalized after the global game jam yet. I'm still recovering, and it's Friday too. Like Friday, always more tired on Friday. Yeah, this is looking good. I do not see anything anything to worry about here. I mean, if I had done it, I maybe would have removed some more of these comments. But or moved the comments into a different place, because so there's all these comments about like getting the default collision color from Godot's configuration, which I guess I don't know if that's even really that important, but that would affect the default value, and so I guess the comment would make more sense like in the constructor or something, and then maybe initializing this value in the constructor rather than here, but like it's not even important. This looks perfect. I'm down. Let's ship it. Let's ship this. Ooh, what did I miss? Whoa, Patrick's giving me some sweet VFX stuff. I'm learning VFX electricity as well. I bought a course for it made for Unreal Engine. I want to export the knowledge to Godot. You can make it bounce. I actually made a custom visual shader node based on different wave functions like sawtooth and square with adjustable frequency amplitude. That sounds really cool. Patrick, do you just want to like do VFX for my game? I'm joking, of course. But man, like that sounds really cool. I gotta find the time to dig into this stuff. I know Logan's been doing VFX on and off for a while too, so maybe I can bug him some about how to pull some of these things off. But this is like just a huge blank spot in my brain because like VFX is you're like kind of like abusing the different systems that you have access to in interesting ways, and like I just don't have in my mind like the library of techniques. So when I look at a VFX, I'm like, that's just magic. That's just pure magic. So I got to get that kind of introductory knowledge. All right, so let's merge this, guys. Merge is blocked because rebase. All right, let's hit the rebase button. Hopefully the rebase button will work. Something went wrong. Oof. Come on. I hate this. Hey, Crimson Guitarist, are you still here? Could you rebase this? I'll approve it. We'll take it forward. I'll just add a note. This needs a rebase before I can merge it, and GitLab's automatic rebase button is broken. As soon as you rebase it, I'll merge it. Yeah. Oh man, it would have been really cool to merge these things, but like I think the work that Crimson Guitarist and Winfrey did is fantastic. I can't wait to merge these. Probably we'll do it, you know, in the next couple of days, and then I'll probably do a release of SG Physics 2D as well to get these changes out to folks. Since I know a lot of people do kind of depend on the releases and the binaries rather than building it themselves from source. Yeah, so that was all that I wanted to work on SG Physics 2D. We can dig into some Godot CPP stuff. There is this memory leak that I've been trying to fix for a little while. I've known about it for a couple of weeks, but the last couple of days, a new contributor has been like working really hard on figuring it out and like getting to the bottom of how it works, like what the cause of it is, and I think we're really close to having a solution. So we could work on that a little bit. I think we could do some testing. I have my own way that I've been testing this, which is based on some code from the original issue. So let's go look at the original issue really quick. So Lasuch, I don't know, 69 reported this, I guess, back in September. Okay, so I guess I've known about it for a couple of months, not a couple of weeks. But it's been really tricky to figure out. It comes down to storing arrays or dictionaries inside of other arrays or dictionaries, or that's how they originally reported it, actually, was storing an array in a dictionary and then taking the array back out. But actually, the work that Alan WP has been doing, he discovered that basically just taking an array or a dictionary, converting it to a variant, and then converting it back is enough to trigger the memory leak. So I have a test project based on the one from here, which does seem to test it-ish, at least in some cases, but it's kind of a mess. Alan WP has a more refined bit of test code that he's been using and has sometimes found issues in my attempts at fixing this, which my test project didn't. Like he had this issue with the data getting corrupted, which it was a really dumb mistake that I made to cause that. But for whatever reason, my tests didn't surface this problem at all. So my tests are clearly not as good. So I'm going to try and take his test code, run it with this, and if it works, I think we can fix up this PR a little bit and you know, take it out of draft is what I'm thinking. If that's interesting to you guys, if that sounds weird or boring or whatever, just let me know. We could there's so many issues, so many bugs, so much stuff we can fix. If you want some more background on what this turned out to actually be the cause of this, it's kind of weird and interesting in its own way. It comes down to like arrays and dictionaries are reference counted. So if you say my array equals this other array, it doesn't actually copy all of the data in. It will just make the one be a reference to the other and increment the reference count. And we have an issue here where the reference count never goes down to 0, but for a very strange reason. When we are asking Godot to create stuff for us from GDExtension, we're using placement new in a bunch of different places where we're saying, here, Godot, here's a memory address. Please make me a variant and put it in that memory address. And we were initializing that memory by actually creating a real instance of the object. I hope this is making any kind of sense. But like, if we're trying to say, Godot, take this variant and pull the array out of it for me, we were actually giving it a constructed array. We were giving it an address to a constructed array and saying, put it here. And that was leading to this kind of temporary array that we were creating, never getting its reference count reduced to 0. And so any of these times we do this placement new, we need to do something special to try and make sure that the reference count is managed correctly. And we tried a bunch of different things. I had this really crazy template that I was working on for the last couple of days to try and create like an uninitialized blob of memory that the C++ compiler will actually treat as an instance of a particular class. Anyway, it's a dumb idea. I don't like that approach anymore. It's too hacky and dangerous. Wojtek has a question about GDScript. Is GDScript working on structs in GDScript? Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of proposals for that. Juan made a proposal. A couple of other people made proposals. I talked to George a couple of days ago. No, that would have been a week ago. A week ago, I talked to George, and I guess he's got a little bit different idea about how structs should work in GDScript. George being George Marks, the GDScript maintainer, who's also on the GDExtension team, which is the context within which I was talking to him last week. There was a GDExtension meeting last week. So yeah, there is work being done there. I think there's still not like consensus on exactly what structs in GDScript means. There's a couple of different ideas about that. Some of them being kind of far over on this one side where it's like a special GDScript idea of what a struct is that doesn't really relate to like the C++ idea of a struct. And then there's other conceptions of it where there is like a one-to-one relationship between the fields in a GDScript struct and the fields in like a C++ struct. So I don't know where that's going to go in the end. The GDScript team does meetings. I think they do weekly meetings. The GDExtension team does like every other week meetings, but I think the GDScript team does weekly meetings. If you really want to know the details, stopping in on one of those meetings and asking would be a really great way to find out. Because I just don't know. I'm not really involved in GDScript development. But you know, everything that the GDScript team is doing is public, and you can just ask them. So the meetings, you know, this is like a voice call, but there's also like the GDScript channel on Rocket Chat. That's where you know, day to day, minute to minute, the people working on GDScript are talking with each other. So that would be the place to ask. I mean, it's Jitsi. It's just like a voice chat service. All the info's on the GDScript Rocket Chat channel. They announce the next meeting and have the link to the Jitsi and the notes and all of that stuff. Because yeah, the Godot development is done primarily in the combination of these three things: Rocket Chat for text chat, Jitsi for voice chat, and GitHub for issues and discussions and PRs and stuff. So that is the Rocket Chat is the place to get started. I think that's kind of the hub from which everything else spokes off of. Yeah, so I forget what I was saying about this issue, but I think we can advance this by taking Alan's test code. This is the wrong one. This is Mark 1. Here's my attempt at fixing this Mark 2, I think. Or no, this is the issue. Here's Mark 2. And here's Alan's code. So let's go over to my test project and let's change it a bunch. That is in games, MRPs, GDExtension, memory, no, multiple physics, no, what is it? Memory leak. CD GDExtension, memory leak. We'll open this up in VS Code. There we go. All right, so like I said, this is a variation on the original test project. So it has these whatever methods. We'll make some new methods for this stuff in. Oh, sorry, yawning. Yawning's the worst. Meetings are hard times for EU time zone people. You think so? Most Godot developers are in the EU time zone. I guess like George is an exception because he's in Brazil. And I'm an exception because I'm in the United States. But I would say the majority of Godot developers and maintainers are EU time zone. So usually, like the times that are picked are, like an average between what would be good for the Americas and Europe. What's really hard is for people in Asia. The GDExtension team, we do this thing where we alternate every other meeting in a time that's EU Americas friendly and Americas Asia friendly. And Americas only gets mentioned twice because I run the meetings and that's where I am. Yeah, I think the strongest core of Godot people is in the EU. All right, so we need to make some methods here. We go to test memory behavior. Sounds good. That's a good method name. Yeah, and we don't need to pass anything back to GDScript. We really didn't know what the cause of the problem was early on, so like I thought returning these to GDScript was actually important, but it is not. And copy this one. I'm not going to do the multiple. I'm going to use GDScript to just call it over and over and over again. All right. And we need to bind this. This is so that GDScript can call the method test memory behavior. He spelled it in the UK Canadian way, not the US way. That should be good. I think we can compile this now. I guess while we're waiting for that to compile, I will. What is the GD file called? GD example. I'll change this to no longer call these, but to instead call test memory behavior. LNWP's test. Okay, so now where's the Godot project? Is it at the top level? No, it's not. Okay, Godot 4 path demo. Okay, so now this should be running in the background, allocating and deallocating a ton of stuff. And I'm going to look at ps aux grep Godot 4. We're going to see if the memory usage is climbing or staying the same. It is staying the same. And we should be getting a ton of output. Ooh, but we're not. Nothing's working. Function test memory behavior. What did I do wrong? What did I do? Test memory behavior. Scans. Oh, you know what it is? I make this mistake so often. The .GDExtension file that tells Godot which library to load is pointing at the dev version, the dev build. And I just did a normal build, a normal debug build. So here we go. We'll type dev build equals yes. And that should build it in such a way that the new version will actually get loaded. Waiting for compiling. When we used to do streams that were largely focused around SG Physics 2D and that stuff, I would have like a list of things I could talk about while we're waiting for things to compile. I did not make such a list today, so we just had to sit and wait there. All right. Let's close this. Okay. Here we go. We're getting this printout. We're getting a value of 123, which I believe is the expected value. Yep. So we know we're not corrupting memory, which was the issue that Alan was seeing with my dumb mistake. And let's go look at the memory usage. Ooh, that's not ideal. The memory usage is, in fact, climbing. Well, that sucks. Wait, let's see which version of Godot CPP is being used here. Oh, we are using the Godot CPP we were just working on with the notification fix. Let's switch it to actually the version that's supposed to fix this bug. What did I call that? Did I call it placement? Something? Leak? I called it uninitialized value. Okay. Uninitialized value. There we go. Check out uninitialized value Mach 2. But that was good. That was good. We tested that it's broken. So now we know when it works that we fixed it, right? It's always good to have that negative test to tell you that that it's broken. Oop, and I almost forgot dev build again. Scans dev build equals yes. Okay. This time, we're going to hopefully see the memory leak fixed. Now, lately, I haven't been playing a lot of video games. Is anyone playing anything really cool lately? I've mostly been reading, or I guess listening to books. I've been listening to the Murderbot Diaries series, which is like a sci-fi. It's got a kind of cyberpunk sort of thing to it with corporations taking over the world and ruling the world, and but it's like a security robot that has hacked its governor module and goes on adventures. I quite enjoy it. All right, so let's run this. Come on, there we go. Path demo. All right. So now let's clear this. Let's check the memory usage. Memory usage is stable. We're printing 1, 2, 3. I don't know, guys. I think this works. I think this fix works. Passed Alan's test. We can try. Oops. We can try switching it back to the test I was doing, my original test. Actually, let's do both tests. Let's do both of them. I'm just going to rebuild it because I, for some reason, had unsaved changes in that file. Oh, what are my unsaved changes? What did I do? What did I break? I must have accidentally like deleted a character somewhere or something. Qualifier ID in here. What? This one shouldn't be const. This one also shouldn't be const. Why? Or wait, should it be const? What did I do? No, it should be const. What's going wrong here? Go to the first error. Okay. Virtual, qualified, declared before. What the heck did I do to break this? Okay, well that's weird. I don't know where that came from. Okay, I must have like hit a key that pasted something in here. Weird. But all right, that built. And then we changed this to run both my test and Alan's test. Let's run it. We're getting the output we expect. And memory usage is not changing. All right. Patrick, I'm also trying to finish Monster Hunter Rise and also tried out the demo of Odd Sparks. I've not heard of Odd Sparks. Also regularly do runs of Halls of Torment, which was developed in Godot by a German studio. Yeah, I haven't played Halls of Torment yet, but it looks cool. I haven't heard of Odd Sparks. What is Odd Sparks? It's a shame that Meta and Pico limits the OS in such a strict way anyway. So I was talking to Fredia once. Fredia is one of the XR team members, and he works at Meta. And he was telling me that if you have if you have support for secure compositor layers, that it is possible to create an alternative shell environment, like an alternative home environment on the Meta Quest, so that you could have like your own app launcher somehow. I didn't really understand exactly what he was talking about, and there might be like a million more details to it than that. But apparently, if you have the right OpenXR extensions, there is some way to do that. Ooh, let me check this stuff out. Odd Sparks, an automation adventure. Oh, geez. Go to the right screen. There we go. I like the art style. Design automated workshops for your odd and adorable Sparks to carry and craft everything, including more of themselves. Lead your squad of Sparks into combat. Explore a strange fantasy world. In a single-player or online co-op, unearth an ancient mystery of the Sparks. That looks pretty cool. Ooh, Winfrey updated the MR. Let's merge. Let's merge. Where is it? This one. Let's take a look. Okay, so this has this set of changes, which looks good to me. It seems like basically the same stuff that was in update float, or no, not update float transform. We had, I think, a function at one point that did something similar, but this looks right. This looks good. Yeah, the canvas item stuff. I'm a little confused why we need to call it in this way, but it's fine. I think probably just saying set notify transform without the canvas item in front of it is fine. But yeah, we can merge this. Let's do it. Well, yeah, Cyber Habanero, I like Fredio, who works at Meta, seems to think there's a way to do it. But I don't know. Possibly there's a way that depends on the right OpenXR extensions. I'm not sure. But I don't really know. I'm just repeating things that have been told to me, which is not a really safe thing to do. I should probably just say things I know. All right, let's merge this. Merged! Yay! Okay. Yeah, there's some stuff I want to say on this one that we just tested. I guess I'll do that before I get off stream because otherwise I'll forget. I just tested with code you shared above, and in my latest version, I'm not seeing the corruption or the memory leak. When I have a chance, I'm going to expand this PR to address all variant types and take it out of draft. All right. Oof. I think we had a very productive stream. We have reviewed 2 SG Physics 2D MRs, merged 1. We have fixed a fairly serious bug in Godot CPP that no one had noticed yet. And we did some work on this Godot CPP memory leak that I think, I don't know, it brings us closer to being able to finally fix that one. So overall, I think our stream was good for humanity. And yeah, thanks everyone for coming. It was super fun. Like I said, I won't be streaming next week because I will be at Disney World. But I will try to be on the internet-ish, maybe, probably not, because I'll be chasing my kids in this weird Disney Wonderland. But I hope you all have a great week, and I will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.